What's up, everyone? Adrian Morrison here, and I am with our all-star student, Chris Fahmy here. What's up, Chris?
Hey, nothing much, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. We just had a really good conference call, you and I, where we did about 45 minutes or so going over strategies on your e-commerce store. And I learned that in the past, I think it is, I wrote it down, the past 5 months since you've got started with e-commerce, you've done over $200,000 in sales. So $200,000 in gross income. How does that feel?
Life-changing, man. It's life-changing for sure.
Awesome, dude. Well, listen, the idea of this call here is to give everybody watching some insight into how you got started, a little bit of background on yourself and everything, and maybe leave them with some advice that can help them get started on their journey with e-commerce. So first, I would just like for you to maybe give everybody watching a little bit of background of who you are, maybe where you're from, how you got started, and how you got to where you are right now.
Absolutely. Okay, no problem. So, well, my name is Chris Fahmy. I'm actually 26 years old, live up in Toronto, Canada. Right now, I am in Miami for the weekend, enjoying the online lifestyle, I guess. But when I got started, actually, to bring things back so you can get some background about me, I actually graduated civil engineering and business from McMaster University in Canada. And I hated it, to be honest. I didn't really enjoy the engineering. I didn't really enjoy having the 9-to-5 job sitting at a desk. So when I graduated, I looked into other things. I actually got started doing real estate investments, but more on the sales side. So I'd go to investors and basically kind of sell them on investing with real estate developers and stuff like that. It went well. As a matter of fact, the money is really good in that industry. But the problem is that you're working for your food basically every single day. So if you're not there doing those one-on-one meetings, you're not going to be getting the sales, you're not going to be getting the numbers, and you're not going to get paid because it's 100% commission. So I wanted to kind of move towards something that would allow me to make money while I'm sleeping basically, or while I'm on vacation, stuff like that. So what happened is that I actually last year, so right now we're talking in 2017, but in 2016, summer of 2016, I actually first tried to do a little bit of Shopify. Like I was telling you, Adrian, I basically spent like 3 weeks making a website, and then I was too scared to actually try to spend any money on the Facebook ad. Yeah, so I didn't actually do anything there, but then I looked into other things. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos about Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, and I tried selling with that. And I know a lot of people that have had success. I was not one of them. I ended up losing anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 doing that because it's different. You have to buy the products, ship them over, put them in a warehouse, and hope they sell, right? And that's, I mean, there's a huge initial investment. There's a lot of risk in that. And when I failed in that, I was miserable. Like I basically didn't break even close. Lost a lot of money, and I decided I would never do online marketing again, online sales again. So and by the way, that was a really kind of tough time in my life that time last year. And then if I fast forward a little bit, back in, I don't know, the beginning of this year, I actually started the Ty Lopez social media marketing agency. And what happened is that I was watching those videos, and all of a sudden your face popped up, and you're talking about selling product for $5 a day and just testing out a product, see if it sells, and if not, just stop it. And I figured I'm going to lose $15. You know, it's definitely worth a shot. It's not 15,000, it's literally $15. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, whatever, let me try it out. So I did it, and I didn't make money in the first bunch of products. Actually, like I was telling you, I think it was about 40 products deep. I spent about $600 before I started making any money. But that first product I made, all of a sudden I was going out with my friends. I'd put it up that day. I made like 5 or 6 sales that day. Next day I was at around 15 to 20 sales. And I was like, what is going on? I hit like $100 in one day. I was like freaking out. I couldn't believe it. More money than I've ever made in like Amazon selling. And I was just drop shipping. It seemed like magic to me. It actually seemed fake to me at first. Like I didn't really believe I was making this money. And then all of a sudden the products were being shipped. Customers were happy, and I was happy because I was making money. So that's kind of what happened. I got started in this basically April 31st, about basically May 1st. And today is October 13th, Friday 13th. And so far, like you mentioned, I'm fortunate enough to be at over $220,000 of sales so far.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. And you know, it's interesting your story. You started out first. You built a Shopify store forever ago, and were fearful of launching it. Then you got into Amazon FBA. You lost $15,000 or so doing that, and then you found another strategy that allowed a smaller investment opportunity and a more of an automated fashion. And you kind of said, you know what? I said that I was never going to try online marketing again because I got burned one time. But hey, the most I can lose this way is $15 using the $5 a day budget over the course of 3 days. And it ended up after some testing, a couple of products, and a little bit of time, doing over $100 a day for you. Now you're at over $200,000 in revenue. And that kind of always brings me back to something that I always have thought of myself is you never really fail. You either win or you learn, right?
100%.
And so many people, they try something and they lose because they do it the wrong way, or they use the wrong blueprint, or they just weren't fully educated on how to properly execute. And they overcomplicate things, right? And so they get burned and then they just give up and they go back to their regular job. Like if you hadn't seen the $5 a day strategy, you may have never tested this again, and who knows what you'd be doing. You probably wouldn't have a $200,000 gross sales Shopify store in the past 5 months. So
certainly not.
Let's dive into that a little bit though. Obviously it hurt to lose money on Amazon. Did you have like any solid training before, specifically on Amazon? I mean, what made you choose Shopify over Amazon and vice versa?
Okay, so what happened then when I started Amazon is I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to jump in without learning something. So I always want to learn a little bit before I kind of jump in. But I didn't like pay for it. I basically just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, so many YouTube videos, and I read a lot of stuff. And I figured, as long as my product is in like, I think it was anything under number 5,000 or not, like you have to get a certain number of ratings. I don't remember exactly how it worked with Amazon, but I remember I had a strategy, and I figured as long as I could hit this particular strategy, I'd be able to be successful. Actually, I do remember one of the strategies was you have to have more reviews than anyone else. And my product had way more reviews than any of my other competitors, but I was still on page like 15 or 20. I obviously wasn't selling anything. So to me, that was like, if I was learning this stuff from these people that were saying they're so successful just by doing that, and I did exactly what they said, and I wasn't successful at all, who am I learning from? Is this right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So that kind of made me think twice about everything. And then fast forward until I learned about you and Shopify. And then I started reading a bunch of testimonials about you and all that kind of stuff. And I saw the success, the actual numbers that you had. And I was like, this is definitely someone I want to learn from. As a matter of fact, I ended up getting ESA. And what that did for me is that it really minimized how much time I had to spend learning the little details about Facebook advertising. And it basically allowed me to just watch a bunch of videos and then go and implement them right away, right? Instead of spending the time actually learning, what is a page post? What is, how do you do all that kind of stuff? What do I put on the ad? I didn't want to learn that stuff. So I didn't want to have to do it myself. I wanted just someone to teach me it right away. That's why I decided, I want to go ahead with that.
So you have a good point I want to hit real fast, because when you got started on Amazon, you said that you looked at a bunch of free YouTube videos. And you got advice for free on YouTube, and it didn't work out on Amazon. And I think that there's this big thing going on right now where people cheat themselves out of wise investments. I see people all the time say, oh, you can just learn this for free on YouTube. You could just learn this for free if you Google something. The problem is there's no control over the information that's on YouTube or the information that's free on Google. You have a bunch of, people that may not even be doing what they're teaching, and they're giving bad advice, or maybe they're giving advice that is outdated, right? You may hit a YouTube video that's 2 years old. And so you have a lot of people that try to take the cheap route, and which is usually what 99% of the people do. 99% of the people say, I'm just going to learn this from free information, right? Well, if you could do that, then I guess you could teach yourself how to be a doctor or an attorney without going to
On YouTube.
right. Right. Just go to YouTube and now you're a heart surgeon. So that's a big problem that I do see in the space, because you see a lot of people that say, oh, well, e-com doesn't work, or this didn't work, and Amazon didn't work, or Shopify doesn't work, whatever. But they're the people that went and tried to learn it for free and got a bunch of random advice that may not even be accurate. Then you saw me because you invested in a program that a buddy of ours has, Ty Lopez, and that led you to going into one of my programs. My program for ESA is not cheap. It's $2,500. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I mean, you invested in proven and solid advice, and that led to a $200,000 e-commerce store. And I mean, maybe not everything that you learn to your success is because of, you know, my course or my training. I don't know. But you got solid, directional, proven advice, right? You made the investment in your education. And now you've got, like you said, you woke up one day and you made $100 in a day and you had all these sales coming in. So I guess my question is, do you see a big difference between going and trying to get information the free way, which isn't guaranteed, or trying to find like a proven leader or influencer in a space that actually practices what they teach, invest up front in that education, and just learning how to do it the right way? I mean, did you see a big difference between the free info and then the information in a paid course? And do you recommend other people, not necessarily my program, but just invest in anything that's, you know, sound?
Yeah. Well, okay. So with Amazon, I did the free stuff. With you, I did the paid stuff. With Amazon, I lost 15,000 actually, I lost it so quick too. I was like 2 or 3 months. I lost all that money before I pulled the plug. With you, I made, you know, fortunately my revenues are at $220,000 in the first 5 months, five and a half months. So, I mean, I think that would explain it. I mean, it's basically night and day. The whole thing is that I was a little bit scared, obviously, just like anyone else, before they make an investment, because I mean, you never know what you're going to get. You just hope that everything kind of goes the way it's planned and stuff like that. But one thing that I did find also is that your profit power hours, what I liked about it is that you don't sell in those. You basically give information. And for me, that was a completely different thing than what everyone else is doing. Because in every other webinar you're in, it's 10% info, 90% selling. And those, I'm sure they work. They definitely work to get sales. But they don't really build as much trust, I feel like, as what you're doing. So when I saw that, I realized, you know, you actually do seem to want to help. And based on our conversations and after I've learned more about you and kind of interacted more with you, I know you do want to help. And I'm happy I trusted my instincts at that time, for sure. And definitely it did make a profound difference for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that you got in. And, you know, there's a lot of great people out there that are teaching different strategies in all sorts of different industries. And then you got the people that really just they're following trends and they're trying to sell products and everything. And this isn't really about that. But since you brought it up, one thing I do like to do is I like to offer, you know, continued education at no cost on my free webinars, because the internet evolves and you need a way to keep up with the evolution and the changes in internet marketing. So I enjoy seeing success students like you become all-star students and tell me your story about how you struggled and you failed, and then how you're now building this massive e-commerce business that's just going to get bigger and bigger as we go into the holiday season. It's going to blow up. So how has this changed your outlook on entrepreneurship? I mean, just starting an e-commerce store, selling the different products, like you're doing AliExpress items, you may be doing print on demand style items. How has it changed your outlook on entrepreneurship? I mean, could you see yourself not doing this anymore and going back to what you were doing before? Or do you feel like that this is it? Like you're going to blow this up. This is your full-time gig and, you know, you're all in.
Okay, it's a good question. I'm actually happy you asked that because it actually, I have some insight here because I have started other businesses in the past. Between my first and second year university, I started a cleaning company because I just wanted to learn and I wanted to make some money on the side. That didn't last that long. I was selling to university students and they have no money.
Right.
So that wasn't so good. But anyways, I learned. That was between my first and second year. Between my second and third year, I started a tutoring company. And basically, I would hire teachers and then I'd set them up with students. And I continued that for a long time. As a matter of fact, I literally sold that business last week. So I feel good that I've gotten rid. I've sold it. Um,
Congrats.
Thank you, thank you. And the thing about that, what really one of the big deciding factors for me to decide to sell that and focus solely on this business is because of the freedom. I was making a lot more money doing this business and I was not stressed at all doing this business. The most stress that you have is basically maybe sometimes dealing with virtual assistants or vendors and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's so nominal and so small compared to stuff with tutors and students and that whole industry.
Sure.
And that industry is, I mean, that's just like one particular business in a very broad industry where it's not online. Don't have as much freedom. You have to be on the phones, all that kind of stuff. Here, I don't even have a call center. I've done all this money. Haven't spoken to anyone on the phone. I just do talk through email. I have a team that answers these kind of things usually. So when I look at that and I kind of made that decision, I decided e-commerce is 100% what I want to do because it gives me the freedom. Just to give you an idea, something I've always wanted to do. This is years ago. I've always loved the idea of being able to think I want to travel and then book a ticket and fly the next day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And literally yesterday we were talking and yesterday I had just booked a ticket to Florida to come today, this morning from Toronto. So for me, that was like a crazy thing that I've really never had a chance to do before. And because of this online business, I can work from anywhere and I could do anything I want to do in terms of traveling and stuff. So that was a really, really big thing for me. And I mean, this with a whole bunch of other reasons why is the reason why I love this business. Also, one thing that people might not think of, most of my friends are working. Actually, like 90% of them are pharmacists. I don't know why in my culture in Canada, there are a bunch of Egyptian pharmacists and it's crazy. Anyways, whenever we're on vacation, they're losing money because they're not working. They're not spending their time to get paid. Whereas for me, I was making money every single day. We went on in July, we went on a 3-week vacation to Spain, England, and Greece. And that was a phenomenal, phenomenal vacation. And every day, I mean, I was making, $300, $400 a day, and they're losing that much money because they weren't working, right? So, I mean, there's so many different reasons why I think this is the business most people should look into if they're looking to really run a business. I mean, that's kind of my take on it.
Brilliant points. I mean, same thing. Like when I was younger and I was broke and I had no money and I was in college, I remember that on certain holidays, my girlfriend and stuff, like Valentine's Day, for instance, she waited tables. I would want to go on Valentine's dinner with her, take her out for Valentine's Day. But her job wouldn't give her the day off. Like she had to work on Valentine's Day and serve everybody else. And we couldn't afford to go on vacations and things had to be planned like a year in advance. And we had to save up every penny we had to be able to afford to go to this place. And now, like you said, we can just spontaneously go anywhere we want, whenever we want. We can do whatever we want, just like you. And the beautiful part of it is we don't have to say, oh, if we're on vacation, then we're not making any money. Because just like you got off the airplane, you opened up your laptop, you checked your stats. You can do this business from anywhere in the world. So you have time freedom and you don't have to sacrifice your ability to continue generating income for that time freedom. And it's all automated, right? So it's all drop shipped. So you're not dealing with physical products in a sense that you're having to manage the shipping and handling and the returns and all that stuff. You're just drop shipping stuff from China, from different fulfillment centers in the United States. And you've been able to build a multi-six-figure business in 5 months. Now, I'm going to point out, not everybody in the world is Chris Fahmy. Not everybody in the world in 5 months is going to do $200,000 in revenue, right? Everybody has their own path. Some people may hit their goals very quickly. Some people may take a little bit longer to do it. Like you said, you were $600 in before it really hit for you. But when you saw something that worked, right, you knew that it worked, you saw it. I mean, this many people can't be having success if it's not real. And you continue to test, because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, and I'm sure you ask yourself this question: I have the potential to build a 6-figure or a 7-figure, maybe an 8-figure business. Is it worth risking $600, to test some products in an automated fashion to jumpstart that business? Not $600 in one day, but $600 over a course of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you made that investment. And people make investments in college, where they put $80,000, $120,000. They're in debt till they're 50, 60 years old, and they're not even guaranteed a job. People make investments in the 6-figure range to start franchises, not even guaranteed that they're going to get customers in their business. So this is like every other business, in that you do have to make a small investment to get your traffic, and you do have to test until things hit. But would you agree that this business lends more opportunity for success for the smallest investment compared to all of these other things you've seen out there?
Well, absolutely, I would agree with that. And to take it one step further, I think this business, it's built in a sense where anybody can do it. I'm talking about whether you're 14 years old looking to run a business, whether you're an ex-con that just got out of jail that can't get hired anywhere. Nobody knows any of this stuff. This is just you behind a screen, basically selling products online. So not only for such a small amount of money can you be successful, but it's also anybody. People think that they have to be a certain age to run a business, or that they have to go to business school to run a business. You don't have to, as long as you have the right teachers. I didn't learn anything. I did a civil engineering and business program. So that's a 5-year program. It's all civil engineering and all of business. I didn't learn anything in there that I'm using right now. I basically just learning from what you're teaching, right? You and other things I'm learning online. So you don't need to do all that stuff. You just need to kind of jump in and get started, really.
Yeah, get educated, take fast action, right? And
absolutely
don't necessarily go and put all of your eggs in the basket of YouTube all these free YouTube videos are going to teach me how to do something, because there's so many different pieces of advice. You need seriously guided direction. A couple of quick questions, because I know that you're on vacation, and this is you said this is a real fun thing for you. So the call's already gone longer than we had expected.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
First, how long did it take you to start your Shopify store? When you went through my training and you saw how to do it, how long did it take you to get a store up and running with one product on it and a Facebook ad up? Just so somebody that's brand new looking at this can say, okay, this is going to take me one day. It's going to take me 1 week. How long did it take you to just get set up?
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit different in the sense where if I'm doing something, I kind of go crazy. Like, I don't need to sleep. I just need to watch, learn, and jump into it. So it took me 1 day. I watched your videos. I learned basically the bare minimum of how to actually get a product up there, and I did it. I put a product up because I realized once I've learned this little part, I can learn everything else, but I have to do this step first anyway. So why don't I just get it started? So I learned how to make a website, how to make a product, all this stuff, how to just put my pixel on. I didn't learn anything about a pixel. I just learned you have to put this little thing in the Shopify settings.
Yeah.
So so basically next day I basically started the site, put a product up there, any little product that I could find that had a lot of orders on AliExpress. It didn't matter to me. What mattered to me is to just kind of pop my cherry and do that first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And get that foundation built.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just get that first one out there and then learn as you go.
Brilliant. So it took you about 1 day to really get set up and get started. And did Shopify make it very easy for you compared to what you had to do with Amazon or going and building a website? Did you find that the Shopify platform just really made it simple? Did it take a lot of tech experience?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I actually did learn how to program full websites and full web applications and actual nitty-gritty coding years ago, just because I wanted to learn it. I haven't used a single second of what I learned there to do this. This is so straightforward. It's basically, people think you have to learn how to code a website. They give you a theme, all you have to do is learn how to put a product on there through, like, I mean, you teach it everywhere. And I mean, that kind of stuff isn't so hard to find anywhere. How to put a product up and stuff like that. I mean, any person that knows how to click a button on the mouse could probably do it. So, I mean, I don't think it took any coding or any kind of ability whatsoever like that.
Yeah, they have a very simple solution. That's why I chose it.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to build a website. I just knew that's why I chose Shopify, is because they're more of a turnkey platform that let me have a site up and running and copy and paste products on there. Boom. All right. So just the last thing I would like for you to do is just leave everybody with some advice. Like, for anybody that's watching this video that's just now starting out, or they're thinking about getting started, or maybe they've tried and failed. Maybe they've gotten bad information somewhere, or they haven't struck gold just yet. What advice would you give them to get started for maybe launching their first Facebook ad, like finding their first product and launching their first Facebook ad?
Okay. So my advice is to just do it. I mean, I know it's cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason, right? Because it makes sense. People tend to overthink things a lot. And I am 100% one of those people that overthinks things a lot before getting into anything. That's what happened to me last year. I didn't put up any Shopify stuff as I explained to you guys. And that probably would have been a mistake, because maybe if I had done that, I could have found you and some other mentors earlier, and perhaps I wouldn't have lost 15,000. Maybe this would have been a year ago. But I didn't, and I failed like that. So I definitely don't recommend that people start focusing so much on like the nitty gritty small details of starting a website. For example, if they should use MailChimp or Aweber, or if they want to put up this product variant or this product, just go and just jump in and do it. Because once you've done it, you're going to realize it's really not that hard. And once you pop that first sale and you're like, what? You get that cha-ching sound that Shopify makes if you have the app. You, like, your heart sinks. You're like, wow, this is amazing. This is one of the craziest things ever. So I recommend to everybody to just jump in, try it, because as long as you test products, you will not fail. The beauty of this is that there's infinite number of things you can test. So if I've been fortunate enough to be successful, and obviously, Adrian, you're successful, and in the Profit Power Hour group, there's so many success stories in there. I go through it all the time. Let's say I'm not feeling so good one day. I'll look through it. I'll see someone that just made $5,000 that day. I'll be like, oh, all right, so he's doing it. Scroll down. Someone made 3,000. Someone made, like, for example, the gentleman, he made, I think, $700,000 in 1 month. Easy. These are numbers that I aspire to, and if they're able to hit it, why can't you? And really, the first thing is take that first step, jump into it, and just learn as you go. Don't focus so much on the small things. Focus on building a website that could be extremely basic with like 1 or 2 products. That's what I did. I just had 1 or 2 products to start. Build a website, get an ad out there, and start learning just from there. Just get those 2 things out first, and then learn all the other stuff as you go.
Yeah, solid advice, man. Look, all you got to do is get your page up with Shopify. Makes it very easy. Get 1 product up. You don't have to worry about all the other stuff. You don't have to worry about having 1,000 products on your site before you launch it. I launched my e-commerce store. I had 3 products on it, and that is it. And then as we were successful, we added more things to it, and we connected more things. Like you said, we kind of learned as we were going. But if you get in your own way and you overcomplicate things, you never end up getting started. So solid advice, man. Look, once again, congratulations for hitting $200,000 in revenue in 5 months or so. And I really looking forward to looking at your holiday numbers, because as Cyber Monday and Black Friday and Christmas comes around, I'm looking to see you double or triple those numbers. I guess, who knows? Time will tell. You may do more than that. So
thank you. I hope so.
Success, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate all your help, your Profit Power Hours. I watch them every single week. Not at Tuesday at 9 because I can't have an appointment that time, but I watch it on Wednesday, Thursday, whenever I can catch the replay. I appreciate that, man. You're giving a lot of great info. And of course, I'd recommend to anyone to watch. As a matter of fact, I told some of my friends to get on it and start watching those that are interested in learning how to do this stuff too. So I really appreciate that you're able to do that for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Listen, if y'all enjoyed this interview, or you have any thoughts or whatever, comment below. All right. So comment below this video right now. What did you think of the interview? What do you think of Chris's success, his advice? Is your story similar? Have you had success? Is this video going to motivate you and inspire you to get back to it and really kick off some new ads? Just let me know your thoughts below. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next month with our next Profit Power, our all-star student. Thanks again, Chris. Congrats, and I'll see you in the group.